around Sundance time. You will see people acting all holier than thou and all, um, you know, like it's like they're saying, "Look at me, I'm traditional. I do this ceremony. Look at me." And so when they go out there and do that ceremony, it's like they're more doing it for show to impress others. And then when they talk about whatever it is they experience, they're usually lying about that. It is all focus is on the person's ego, yeah, the person's narcissism, or like I said, to impress others. You see guys doing that to impress girls, yeah. And both these guys and the girls, they don't have the proper instruction concerning ceremonial life. So when a young guy says to a young girl, "Yeah, I do this ceremony every year," and she goes, "Wow," and that is not traditional. Yeah, and a traditional couple, first of all, they're going to take the time to get to know one another. You don't use these kind of statements to attract a partner. Yeah. So a traditional couple would get to know each other first, and then as they talk about spiritual things, once he earns her trust, and she earns his trust, then he can say, "Whatever you want to do next year," he might say, or the next whatever. I have to block off this 1 week because I do the Sundance during that time. And then she'll say, "Oh, okay." And she might say, "Do you want me to come support you?" And then he'll say, "That would be good." Then that's it. That's all they say. None of this, "Oh, wow, let me look at your scars. Jeez." And then she brags to her friends, "Yeah, my boyfriend is a sun dancer, and he has all these scars that shows that he's done it all these years." And that's all superficial bullshit. Yeah, you see guys on Facebook after they do the Sundance, they take a picture of their scars, they take a picture of their chest, and then they put it on Facebook to attract girls, as if this is, see, it shows you that there's no humility whatsoever in the way people do things today. A traditional couple shows humility all the way through. Yeah. So this is your evidence that people today, they focus on the action of a ceremony, but they don't focus on the ceremony itself. And then they do this only to impress others, to make themselves look good. That's selfishness. And then they'll talk when there's a group of girls around. They'll be talking out loud. "Yeah, I've been doing this Sundance over at such and such medicine man's place, and yeah, we were talking about," like he tries to put him. He always puts the medicine man and him in his sentences by saying, "Yeah, we were talking, over the fire, and we were smoking the pipe, and we were talking about how we can, do things for the elders." That's the kind they do that to impress. There's no humility whatsoever. Yeah, absolutely no humility. One time I was at the Dairy Queen at Eagle Butte on the res, and this carload of people came in, and there was a lady there who's probably about my age. In fact, I think she was a little bit older. Now that I know, I remember who that is now. I remember. Okay. Now, she pulled in, and there was a bunch of, there was her and her daughter. Her daughter looked to be about 20 years old. Yeah, and the mom was probably about 40. So it was a very young mother. And there was a bunch of guys with them, young guys. And one guy had a wreath of sage around his neck with some eagle feathers tied to it. He had that around his neck. He's wearing it like a necklace. And it still had the red felt around it. And I thought, shit, that's weird, because my first thought was, that's part of a ceremony. You're not supposed to wear that in public. But he was going around bare-chested, bare feet, in blue jeans. And there were a couple other guys like that too. And these two ladies, from a distance, I thought they were the same age. Until I looked closer, I could tell one was older because her neck had wrinkles. And these two ladies were dressed with their shorts. Well, you could see the lower part of their butt cheeks. Let me put it like that. That's how short their shorts were. And they were wearing basically bikini tops, so you could see part of their boobs. And high heels, of all things. Yeah, and dark glasses. So I thought, gee, the mom and the daughter are both bimbos. Yeah, that was my first thought. And these guys were just all over them. I mean, they weren't touching them or anything, but they were like just always around. It seemed like they were trying to impress these ladies, and like they were trying to win them. The way they were talking. And this car parked close to us in the parking lot. So they were all out there. So my mom came out. She was using the bathroom. And then my mom came out last. And so all of a sudden he changed his tone of voice. And, yeah, I said, we just came back. We just got done doing, the whatever Sundance over in Greengrass. And yeah, I just put up a building and I'm making a youth center down there. Give something for the kids to do because there's, trying to teach them the language and the culture. And my mom knew he was bullshitting, so my mom just said, that's nice, good for you, she said, and she got in the car. Yeah, just trying to do something for the kids, keep the traditions alive, and he's talking like that, yeah. And these ladies were sitting in their convertible, and they were getting ready to head out. And I asked that guy if those girls were at that Sundance, and he said, "Yeah, they're both Sundancers," he said. It's like, okay, even if that was correct. Sundancers don't dress like that. Sundancers dress in a humble way. Yeah, they don't show off their body parts. Yeah, they don't expose their chests. When they're guys, you don't like, see, the reason why he was going around without a shirt is he was really trying to impress these two ladies by always he literally pushed his chest out so that you for sure you're going to see his scars where he pierced in the Sundance. It just seems like he's on drugs. It's like he has to impress everybody. Yeah, he has to be the center of attention. And all of a sudden his voice went, gotta do something for the kids. Yeah, made a youth center down there. We're gonna teach the kids how to do ceremonies. And he's talking like that. And And he was saying it like he wanted those two girls to hear him talk like that. And I said, it's really hard for me to believe they just came from a Sundance. I said, because usually when after a Sundance, see, I'm not going to describe the whole ceremony, but in a real Lakota traditional Sundance, you separate yourself from your family 4 days before the ceremony. Okay? All the Sundancers stay together in a location because they're slowly getting into a mental state. Yeah, a certain mental state. And then the ceremony begins. So there's 4 days of ceremony. Yeah, 4 days of ceremony. And then when the ceremony's over, the Sundancers stay amongst themselves for another 4 days. And what they're doing during those 4 days is they're slowly coming back to the normal world. So they don't see their family for a total of 12 days. I mean, they might see them, but they don't talk to them. Yeah? Until that 12th day, they do a one final sweat lodge ceremony to say, okay, it's done now. And so when they come out, then they go hug their family and their kids and their wife, and parents, brothers and sisters, any relatives. The Sundancers shake hands and they say, okay, we'll see you guys next time. Yeah, and then they go home. Yeah, and it's a feeling of humility. You just went through something very difficult. That's the real way you do it. And here you had these guys coming, the people that I just described to you were the total opposite. Yeah, so if they really were at a Sundance, that was the bullshit one. Yeah, because you don't act like that, and you sure as hell don't dress like that. When you do the Sundance, you're supposed to be really humble, and you don't even talk about it. That's only between you, the Wakantaka, and your family. Those are the only people that need to know. Yeah, and when there's a gathering someplace, you don't stand up and say, "Yeah, I did the Sundance for Tona years." You don't say that because that's not humility. So these young people, they were totally breaking that Lakota virtue of humility. Constantly bragging, constantly trying to impress. And those two ladies, they weren't doing a good job either, walking around like they're hookers. Yeah? And this is not traditional. Traditional people dress a certain way. Yeah? That they don't expose themselves like that. Only their intimate partner needs to know this, or needs to see that. So this because other than that, that's nobody else's business. And to me, it shows. What do you call it? It also shows that a person is not humble. Yeah, and remember what the way you dress is a communication. The way you dress, your communication is a reflection of you, of how you are. So how you dress, that says a lot about how you are. Now, I don't mean the quality of your clothes. No. What I mean is how you dress. Like a person, maybe he doesn't have too much money, but he always makes sure his clothes are clean and that they look nice. They don't have to be brand new clothes. They don't have to be Armani suits or anything like that. Could just be a Walmart t-shirt. But as long as it's clean and he presents himself clean, he washes himself, combs his hair. As long as he's doing that, that's all that matters. That says that he cares about himself. He's not doing this to impress others. He's showing that he cares about himself so that he can help others. That's the Lakota Star Knowledge perspective. Yeah? But when you dress, like these people I described to you, the guy with his no shirt, always pushing his chest out, and the girls that look like hookers, this is all unhealthy communication. And that's a reflection of the kind of people they are. Yeah? So that shows you that they don't care about the ceremony itself. They're using it for selfish reasons.